Hi, my name is Clement, and I'm the Director of Sales here at MetaStock. I'm excited to take the next 10 minutes to show you one of the most powerful data, news, and information platforms on the planet. Whether you're trading stocks, futures, forex, options, global markets, it doesn't matter. MetaStock XENITH is designed to help you as a trader get the information you need to make the best decisions. With that, let's go ahead and go into MetaStock XENITH and show you some of its features. We're going to begin our overview of MetaStock XENITH here in the XENITH toolbar. The XENITH toolbar is designed to help you as a trader quickly find the relevant information that you want. So let's say, for example, you are trading stocks and you're looking for Apple. So I can come in here and just type in Apple, and it will give me automatically the most relevant information for Apple. So we have here Apple Inc., which is traded on the NASDAQ. We can go below and see that we have an overview, business information, quoting, charting, and then down here is information that may be secondary to the word Apple. Well, I know that I'm looking for Apple here on the NASDAQ, so I'm just going to go ahead and click it. Now what this page is it takes me to a home page for Apple that lets me get an overview of basically everything Apple, really. So if I look at this, first of all, what it gives us is it gives us a comparison chart of Apple versus the S&P 500. So I can see relative performance between the two. If I scroll down a little bit here, I can see the news. So this will give me streaming news from Reuters, which is one of the best news companies in the world, to help you see what's happening with this stock and what's actually maybe moving it up or down. If we scroll down on this side, we can see recommendations. What is Apple doing versus its sector competitors? What are the analysts saying about Apple? Down here I have estimates and guidance. I can see, well, what's going on with its smart estimates, what is the predicted surprises, EPS, revenue. And if I click on any of these, it will give me a zoomed in view so I can actually see what's going on with Apple and its earnings. So I can now see over time, how has Apple's earnings changed? What's happened? What's the report date here? Down here I can see its revenue growth over time and year-over-year percentages. Over here I have recent developments, valuation. What are the fundamentals saying about Apple? I can get a view of what its sector competitors are doing here. Now up at the top, you've got all these different tabs that are also available for information for more in-depth. So let's say you wanted to look at Apple's income statement. You can go in here and see their income statement over the last few years. You can look at charts, what its sector competitors are doing. So if I go into this, it will actually show me in a way that I can understand what's going on. So here we have Apple, how it's performing over time, but what are all the sector competitors doing? What's going on? And then I can actually look at it in different ways. So right now we're looking at a price performance. Well, how about fundamentally? Who's doing the best in that sector fundamentally? And I can look at all that information. And there's a lot of other ways that we can look at it in here. Now up here we can continue on. We can see that's officers, filings, events, what's going on with the company. Are they buying other companies? Are they selling parts of the company? Corporate actions, dividends over here. Now we can also come in and look at the options. Do we want to see the most traded options or all options? So if I wanted to see the most traded options, I click into it and it'll give me an overview of the most traded options for Apple. So there's a wealth of information that we can go through here. Now, are you going to use all that information? Probably not. But what's the point is that you're able to access the information that you do need. So let's close this overview of Apple. And let's come up here and let's actually do another search. So let's say I wanted to look for the Dow Jones. So if I type in Dow Jones, it will bring me up, again, the most relevant information. So I can click on the Dow Jones Industrial Average here, and I can get an overview of what is going on with that actual index. If I wanted to come in here and look at constituents, who makes up the Dow? Who's actually part of that? So I can click here, see the 30 companies that are part of the Dow, and look at the rankings. What's going on? What's pushing the Dow right now? We can also look at options. We can look at charts. We can look at price history. So this is designed to help us get quickly, again, that information. Now, if I see one of the companies here, I want more information on Caterpillar, all I have to do is click on it, and it'll take me right into an overview of Caterpillar. Okay? Just like we did with Apple, instead of searching for it, we can just click right to it. So let's take a view of what's called one of the apps within MetaStock Zenith. Now, MetaStock Zenith has a lot of different apps where you can build quote lists, you can do time and sales, you can look at streaming news, movers on indexes. But what we're going to do here for just a moment is look at this home app. And the home app is great because what it does, it actually gives us a broad view of the market where we can actually look at different sections of the market in chunks. So let's say here, for example, let's start up at the top here, where it has asset classes, countries. So if I wanted to get an overview of what the Canadian markets look like, or the Malaysian markets, or if I wanted to just see the United States, whatever country it is, let's just go into the United States here for just a moment. And this will give me a broad overview of the US market, so I can see its currency. I can see what its GDP is, what its debt is, credit ratings, what are the different financial markets in the US. Okay, so if you're interested in trading another country or you want to see an overview of that country, just come into this countries page, and it will give you an overview of the FX markets, of the index futures, the benchmark bonds, things like that. So let's go back up here, and I'm just going to click back in the home page. It just allows me to jump back. So here we can see overview of news. So we have a lot of news. Now, we talked for a moment about Reuters News being the best in the world and what it helps it do in the market. Now here we can go into Reuters Top News and see what's really going on that affects the markets right now. But if there's specific things that you're interested in, let's say, for example, you're a commodities trader, go into the commodities news, look what's going on with commodities, and get an overview of the news. If you see a news story you want, go into it. Look at the full news story. You're not limited on that. Okay, so if you wanted European companies, go in there, look at the European news, what's happening on European. Let's go back up here to home. Now over here as well, we've talked, so you can access the news here from asset classes, or you can access it down here. If we want to see what's going on financial markets, so let's say we want to see the advancing and declining issues. Here we have a breakdown of the NYSE and what's happening with the NYSE. What's going on? Is most of the market moving? Is most of the market down? So there's that comment out there, a rising tide floats all boats. So you can see that quickly and very visually here and look at that information as it pertains to the market you're trading. And if you'll look at this is all the different countries that are available for you to look at in this same way. Okay, so let's go back up here to the home page. Now, we also make it very easy. Again, we talked about being able to just click anything and move to it. So if I wanted to get an overview of the S&P 500, I click on it, and it'll take me to an overview page of the S&P 500. Now, we've also set it up so you have a lot of pre-built workspaces that you can work with, or you can build and design your own. So if I come up here and click on this down arrow here, we have these templates built in where you can come in and you can look for overviews of the market. So if I'm interested in metals, I can click on this and it will bring me up an overview of the metals markets. So here I have news, quotes, and information on what's going on with the metals markets. I can also do this for equities if I'm interested in the equities overview. Let's just look at indices. And then once these types of things are open, I can then move through all of my different quote lists and tabs that I have open. There's my metals, there's my indices. Here I have an economic monitor open. Okay, so let's close this. Now, you can also just search for things again, as we talked about. So for example, economics. If I just start typing economics, it will take me to an economics overview page that I can review. So here's an overview of the top economics. And I can limit this down by countries that I want to see, what time frames. I can look at it in a calendar view. So you're going to find a lot of customization that's available to you within MetaStock Zenith, allowing you to set it up the way that you want to see information and the information that's relevant to you. Let's look at one last thing here. We're going to go to asset classes here again, and I'm going to go to advanced search. What advanced search lets me do is actually search the markets for information that I would like to see. So let's say if I go to equities here, and I want to search the US markets or the Canadian markets or whatever it is that you want to do. And let's scroll down here, and I'm going to find the United States. And obviously, again, the breadth and depth of information that's available is a lot, but the point is the information that you want to be able to find is probably going to be in here as part of what you're looking for. So I can search on any of these criteria. So if I wanted to search on, let's look at the top criteria. If I wanted to search by dividend yield, earnings per share, sector, let's look at revenue growth over 5 years, greater than 10%. And I wanted also market ratios. Let's look at beta. So we're looking for stock that's also volatile as compared to the S&P 500. So we're going to say greater than, let's say greater than 4. And then we want return on equity. We want any of these different things. We can also put in some technical criteria if we want some price performance. So 52-week high price greater than 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and search and see the kind of information that comes back for us. Okay, so out of that list, these are the stocks that met our criteria. And then I can click into these stocks and look at what information, see the information that I'm looking at. So it's a great way for you to be able to yield what you're looking for on the market. We've given you a really quick overview of MetaStock Zenith here to show you some of the information that's contained in it. We could spend a lot of time diving into that information, but what I challenge you to do is to try MetaStock Zenith and see the power and content that it can give you, and you'll find that along with what you're doing, it will be a great tool to help you see the information that you need on the market. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.